Lawrence Presman here. You're watching WagerTalk Today. We got a great show. Stay with us. This is going to be a ton of fun. An incredible amount of betting information is coming your way. We got a whole slew of guests. Gianni The Greek, right off the bat, he's going to give us the Steam report. Where is all the money from the wisest, smartest syndicates in the world? Where's it all going? Gianni's going to tell us. Andy Lang after that. He's got some prop bets for us. Ronald Cabang will be joining us. He's going to look at both NBA games tonight. If any of them is like last night's last game, we got a lot of drama ahead. And Jesse Schule with some prop bets. We're going to end the show with Art DiCesare. If you have never heard Art, he is a bookmaker at the Westgate Superbook, one of the biggest sports books in the world. He will tell us where all the money is being bet by all his sharpest clients. That is a must. Listen to segment. It's at the end of the show. Make sure to stay with us. Guys, hit that like button, please. Gianni The Greek, my friend, it has been a while. I have so much to talk about. We'll do it a little later. How are you, brother?
Good, my man. Cannot complain. It's a good week so far. Pretty busy. And, yeah, just betting baseball pretty much every night, Prez. I didn't really get involved in the NBA yesterday, except for a little live action. But what stuck out to me today, because I was looking at it, remember we talked about it last week and even the week before there, how these teams that get out hot in Major League Baseball, don't be afraid to fade them and don't be afraid to fade the team, to bet the teams that aren't doing that good. If you look at the standings right now, what are you going to find? Exactly what we said. Rarely does any team win more than 60% of their games long term. When the season's over, you may have one of those. When you look at the entire American League, every first place team is right around that 59% range. It's only in the NL when you get to the West, where it's San Diego, San Francisco, and the LA Dodgers that are playing above expectations. And no one's really excited to fade those teams, but that's exactly what you should be looking to do, because they're going to regress just like everybody else. Every other division, if you see, they're right around where they should be. The Mets are a little ahead of where they're going to end up when the season's over. But everyone else has done exactly that, started regressing or progressing towards their mean. And that's why I love baseball so much. We're about 20 games in, and you're already starting to see that happen.
Yeah, and there's really no sport quite like it in the sense that, hitters go, golf, but hitters go cold, and they go cold for long stretches, and they go hot for long stretches, and it's same with the pitchers. This is that one sport where it's like in-game betting all season long without it being in-game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like like the in-game concepts for out-of-game betting. And that's what baseball is because of the runs. We're going to have bad teams win 8 games in a row. We're going to have good teams lose 8 games in a row. And it's consistent. And that is why it's one of the easiest sports to beat betting-wise. Gianni, I've won my last 6 baseball games, 10-1 run. So I am with you, brother.
Yeah, and don't be afraid, honestly, to look at those teams, even look at the splits, because no one's going to win 70% of their games at home, 80% of their games at home. If you look, last year, they're around 45, 35, right around there. You know what I mean? They're maybe 10 games over 500, 7 to 8, 9 games over 500, except for that 1 or 2 outliers. Like the Dodgers had a great year at home last year. The Cleveland had a great year at home last year. But even a team like the Yankees that won their division, they were 44-37 at home. You know what I mean? They even played better on the road. Pay attention to those splits, because the book, when they're putting out these lines, they're having to do it every single day. They're doing it quickly. They factor in that home field advantage. And some teams have proven they don't even have much of that home field advantage. Yeah. So you could find some value in those spots where they're overvalued because they're playing at home, because they've come out to a 9-1 mark at home, and that's not sustainable. Look for spots to fade them at home. Again, it's scary. Those bets, that's what I notice. I say it all the time. Those bets that I'm walking up to the counter, second guessing myself, saying, do I really want to do this? Those tend to cash the easiest. And the ones when I'm running up to the counter, jumping over people to get there because it looks so good, those tend to not go the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the ones that you're afraid to pull the trigger are usually those ones that win the easiest.
Yeah. Gianni The Greek joining us. Gianni, I just got off the phone with Johnny Detroit, and he was like, Prez, we need more subscribers to the channel. You know, we're right on the cusp of 200,000 subscribers. And it's hard. We have the same guys every day kind of in the chat room, but we do have new listeners. I'm going to ask the listeners, what do I got to do? Tell me what I got to do to get you guys to subscribe to the channel. Tell me what I got to do to get you guys to hit that like button. I mean, flex, you know, chest pump. You want to see my hair? Like, what do I got to do? You let me know what I got to do, and I will do it. So that's what I'm asking today. Gianni, talking about baseball, where's the money going today, brother?
Yeah, not a ton of volume so far in baseball. And real quick, the NBA games, we talked about it earlier. As soon as these lines came out, they bet the under. They bet the under. They bet a little more unders. And now it's like the public's betting those totals under. Those numbers are gone. If you do not like the over in either of these two games, you got to leave it alone. Like, even if these games stay under, they're just not good bets. Like, you missed the good numbers. They moved 2, 3, 4, 5 times. If you like the under already, what were you waiting for? Why would you go under 219 when you could have went under 224, 23, 22, 21? Like, those are just not betting from any position of strength. So obviously, you know, the sharp bettors are on the under, and what the books are trying to do is attract over money to limit that risk, because they are one-sided. Even the public's betting those unders as well. That's why they've moved so significantly. Now, in Major League Baseball, we got a couple dogs. That's where they like to bet, and that's what they've been doing. 901 immediately. The Cubs plus 115. The Cubs plus 110. Same thing with Washington. Washington plus 105. Washington even money, and then even laid minus 105 on the Washington side. Miami 906 plus 135. I mean, plus 140 and plus 135 against Arizona. Also went over 8 all the way to minus 125. Then when it got to 8.5, laid the minus 110 to go over 8.5. Those are the ones I love the most, because they were willing to lay heavy chalk to go over a particular number. And then when they adjusted it a half a run and added vig to it, they still bet it. So it tells you that opening number was way off. Add 915, Kansas City against the Yankees, plus 155, plus 145. Plus 140. So they really like the Royals in that game. And it's another situation where at 8.5, it started out at plus money. They bet that. They took the even money, then bet it all the way up to minus 130 to go under 8.5, Prez. They went to 8 at minus 105. They still bet it. So those are the two totals that stuck out to me the most, where you got follow through and laying heavy chalk at the first number, and then laying some chalk for the second number as well. Again, those tend to have the best long-term results. And last but not least, 919. What was that? 919. LA Angels. Yeah, LA Angels, minus 110, minus 115, minus 120. Rarely are they betting those road favorites, but that's one of the road favorites that they did bet to get past Texas today. That's what's gotten down early. But again, a lot of baseball starts coming in later in the day. And lately I've been seeing even 2 hours before first pitch. And I thought it was because they're waiting for the confirmation of the lineups. After talking to someone late last night, that's not the reason. The reason is a lot of these credit shops, okay, they're not putting out baseball lines until later in the day. In fact, the out that I have that gives me the biggest limit that I could get down 5 dimes on a baseball total doesn't post his baseball lines until about 3 hours before first pitch. He puts out the sides first, 3 hours before first pitch, and 2 hours before first pitch, he puts out the totals. So he's willing to take big bets where other ones, they'll take nickels on overnights. They'll take a dime the day of. But this guy's telling you hours before, I think the line's efficient. You could bet up to 5 dimes on even a MLB total. So that's why pay attention to a lot of those late line movements, because that's what these bigger groups are doing. To get enough money down to where it makes sense, they rather wait and even sometimes give up some EV, because they're going to do it with quantity instead, being able to place bigger bets at smaller edges, that's how they make up for it. And you're going to start seeing a lot more of that because, again, baseball is one of those times when we get into the summer, kids are out of school, people are on vacation. It ends up being a lot of times where they have trouble writing the other side, where it ends up being sharps versus the books, and they don't want to be in that position. They know how that fight turns out long term.
Gianni The Greek, one of the best sports bettors alive. Gianni, Mr. De Niro in our chat room writes, ESPN Bet gives out 3 of their picks for free, and that's what he expects from WagerTalk. He's talking about how to get subscribers. Gianni, nothing like a sports book giving their clients free and betting advice. Hey, I mean, that would be what, a dentist telling you not to brush your teeth?
Bro, this back when the Stardust was the center of the universe, in the sports book, they had what was called the library. Okay. The sports book library. And right next to the sports book was this little room. Okay. And they gave you all the stats you wanted, Prez. That there was a line in there just to look at the data. They were only giving you data that was already factored into the number. There was nothing on those walls that was going to give you an edge. It's all the same information everybody's looking at. That's why it's worthless. You think you're convincing yourself by looking at the stats that support your pick already. You already know what you're betting. Now you're just looking for support. It's not like the other way around where you're letting the data drive you to the pick. Instead, it's guys that already had their opinion. Now they're looking for data that supports their opinion because all that was factored into the price. More times than not, when they're giving something away for free, that's usually what it's worth. Absolutely nothing. And not to knock them, but again, if they're not showing you their long-term results and what the record of those free picks are, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like throwing the coin.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, dude. Drug dealer handing out free crack on the streets. Anyway, and the other reason why we can't do what ESPN Bets does is their revenue is on your betting. So they're giving out free info. Our revenue is on our info. But yet here we are, Mr. De Niro, giving out free info. And we're not paying influencers
to promote same game parlays and 8-team parlays and stuff like that on their free picks.
With that said, we love you, ESPN Bets.
Love you. Love what you're doing.
We're coming after you regardless. It's not personal. Gianni, what do you got to promote?
Baseball. Haven't gotten involved in the NBA today, but I have isolated a couple baseball picks over the next 60 minutes. They will be in a package. I'll have at least 4% play and still sitting at the top overall in baseball. Lost the 2 college baseball picks yesterday, which is a rarity. So I can't wait to see if we get any college baseball later tonight. Nothing so far. It's been just Major League Baseball, but those have done really well long term. And we have off from UFC this weekend. So I'm really excited to get involved more in the NBA and the baseball that's going on over the weekend because of the lack of MMA that we have week in, week out.
Gianni The Greek, get out of here, my brother. Thanks for doing this. We'll see you tomorrow. So much to talk about, everybody. Jesse Gunter writes in the chat room, I love the show. I love the show, too. Means the world to me that you guys come into this chat room and talk to us. Hit that like button, please, everybody. We got Andy Lang joining us. Ronald Cabang still to come. He's going to take apart both NBA games. Jesse Schule with some NBA props. We're going to ask Art DiCesare from the Westgate where all the money is going in the NBA, both in tonight's games and future bet as well, and also talk to him a little bit about baseball and NHL. I'll give you guys a quick update on what's been going on with me. I played the World Series of Poker circuit is in Toronto. I played the 600 event on Thursday. 804 people entered. I came second, cashed $43,000. And you guys think I don't know gambling. Okay, you all think I do know gambling. That was a redundant, stupid comment. But anyway, I came second for $43,000 in the 600 event. I then played the 800 bounty the next day. I min cashed that. It was a fun tournament. So I am 2 for 2. I've got more going tomorrow. We start the main event. Andy Lang will be hosting. As for my clients, we had a huge day yesterday. Hundreds of you guys purchased my $5 5% NBA play. Hundreds. It was on Memphis. Cash that, baby. The NBA run continues. And now 10-2 in my last 12. I am up 50 units in the NBA since January 4th. Nobody is hotter in the NBA than me. I'm on a 10-1 run in baseball as well. 10-1. I've won 6 straight. And you all know how good my hockey is. I got 1 NBA, 1 MLB, and 1 NHL up tonight. Guys, what are you waiting for? Go over and buy my plays right now. Andy Lang, thanks for hosting. Dude, I get such great comments about your hosting. And your numbers are slightly better than mine right now. I'm not taking that well, Andy. I'll tell you, you have a longer listening time by about 2 minutes.
We're doing this. We're going down this road. Are we really?
I don't know. I just like the bottom line is they love you more, and I understand it. You emanate cuteness. You have the sweetest, kindest energy. So I get it, dude. I get it. Yeah. I still am upset about it though.
Okay, couple things. First off, if you have not been limited at ESPN Bet or Fanatics, that tells me a lot about your betting record. And I will also say that I made this promise to Mike. Mike says, how can we get more subscribers? I'm going to give out a free NBA. And I said, I'm going to give out a free NBA play today and a golf play that goes off tomorrow. If they both hit, everyone that's listening has to create 2 extra YouTube accounts and they have to subscribe. And that should get us to 200,000 subscribers. How about that?
I'll add to that so we can do a 3-pack. That way we could go 2-1. Okay, we're 2-1, and everybody has to. I will give out my NHL client play.
There you go. There we go.
So
yes, yeah. Now we're talking.
Let's start. Let's start with you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go with Davion Mitchell over 9.5 points tonight. When Miami has their full lineup, it just opens up more opportunities for him. So I pulled these numbers. When he plays with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, and so this means he's coming off the bench. So we're going to take a player prop on a guy that's coming off the bench. So he's gone over in this situation 10 out of the last 11 games, and his numbers are pretty amazing. He gets 33 minutes per game. He gets 8.5 field goal attempts, and he's shooting 56% from the field. He makes 1.8 threes per game. And he's averaging 12 points. That's way above this 9.5 point number. And point guards, this is a dream matchup against Chicago. Point guards score 26 points per game against Chicago. So I think Davion Mitchell, I don't know, maybe does he get to 33 minutes? Maybe, maybe not. If he does, I think he flies over this total. Even if he gets 27, 28 minutes. I think the defense is bad enough. I think the points are going to be there. I think the attempts are going to be there. So I'll take Davion Mitchell over 9.5 points. And for the golf play, I'm going to take a look at Scotty Scheffler under 1.5 bogeys in round 1. So Prez, this course is very short. They're at Harbor Town. It's like 7,200 yards. It's right on the coast. Normally there's wind. That's the big factor with this course. There is no wind this week. The greens are going to be soft. It's a short course. These guys are going to smoke this tournament. There is going to be some ridiculously low scores. And Scotty Scheffler only had 1 bogey in his first round last year. He may go no bogeys with how short this course is. These fairways, they're a little bit narrow, but the greens are small, but they're very soft, and these guys go out in the morning. Scheffler under 1.5 bogeys in round 1. That's tomorrow. Davion Mitchell over his 9.5 points. That's my contribution to get us to 200,000 subscribers.
Andy, my contribution is the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Look, I know they're in a must-win mode, and I don't love betting must-win here. But this is a team that won a bunch of games of late. I know they lost a crucial game against Chicago 2 nights ago, but this is a team that was outside the playoffs looking in not a month ago, and then they put down a really big run. So I think we've seen their makeup and emotional fortitude. This is a team that has won many must-win games along the way. Not only that, but they're playing a Carolina Hurricanes team who we just saw played the Toronto Maple Leafs and didn't even show up. Rob Brindamore is bringing his son into this game. I'm not even kidding. This is the nepotism angle. Skyler, if he was good enough to be on this team, he would have been on this team 2 games ago. Carolina does not care about this game. The form is going to be hopping. The atmosphere is going to be wild. I think Montreal wins this game, and they are plus 100. There is my contribution. Guys, also real quick, we got a killer promo up. Basket 25. This is the Fill Your Cart promotion. This is one of the most successful promotions we run at WagerTalk. This is something that regularly is picked up by many, many different clients. You get 25% off any daily package, any all-access pass, and any flex days at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. 25% off. So, for instance, today I got a NBA, MLB, and NHL play. You can buy them all. You use the promo code BASKET25. You get 25% off of that package. You can do the same with Andy and any other handicapper at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Andy, UFC, we got a bet. You got a bet for us? Cameron Simon. He's fighting Malcolm Wellmaker. That's quite an interesting last name.
Yeah, I'm going to do this fight, and then I want to answer a question in the chat. Okay, Cameron Simon, there's UFC is off this week, but PFL is this weekend, so we will have PFL plays after weigh-ins. Get on this UFC play for next week. Now, the reason I'm doing it is because the line is moving. Cameron Simon opened up at like plus 120. He's now down to even money. This is fading the Contender Series debutante, who I don't think is UFC ready. And this has been a cash cow this year. So Malcolm Wellmaker got a really nice knockout on Contender Series, but he was fighting kind of a nobody. Cameron Simon has lost 2 fights in a row, but they were in the UFC. And before that, he had won a couple fights in the UFC. Simon is UFC battle tested. His last loss was to Peyton Talbot. That's a real fighter. Wellmaker is a prospect with a lot of talent, but he needs so much work. His striking defense is bad. He holds his hands really low. Simon is a striker who can take advantage. This is one of those lines that the sharps are already on it. When you see a plus 120 get down to even money the week before the event, the smartest MMA bettors on the planet know what's going to happen in this fight. Cameron Simon is going to close at a favorite in this one. So grab the UFC veteran Cameron Simon over Malcolm Wellmaker, the Contender Series debutante.
Andy Lang will be answering a question in the chat room, and so will I. We got Ronald Cabang coming to do 2 NBA games. We got Jesse Schule. We got Art DiCesare. This show ain't even close to done. Don't you dare go anywhere. Plus, I'm hosting today, and I need to get my long-term viewer numbers up because Andy is kicking my butt by 2 minutes. Okay.
Stop.
Well, it's okay. It's okay, Andy. I need the challenge, bro. I feel like I got a little lackadaisical. I got, I was taking for granted how great this show is. You have given me a wake-up call, and I'm greatly appreciative. Go ahead. What is the question you're going to answer?
Okay, Marcus James says, how about not selling picks and just get money from the books? Why take people's money?
I was going to do that too.
I don't go on rants, but here's my rant. I am up 88 units in 2025. We track all of our plays in our Discord. We also have a spreadsheet that shows you if you started with a $10,000 bankroll 84 weeks ago, your bankroll is $54,000. This is a business. This is not a gimmick. This is real money. These are real bets. These are real investments. A 365-day pass costs you $1,200. I spend $1,500 on my own on subscriptions to websites where I do my research. I have a team of international handicappers who are the best of the best at what they do. We are number 1 in tennis. We are number 1 in cricket. We are number 3 in NBA. We are number 5 in NHL. If you want a business, a $1,200 subscription for 365 days is a bargain. I just dropped $6,000 on my production company yesterday to buy some lights. We sell picks because they get you results. We have a Discord full of people who buy our plays and make money off of it. Of course, we take money from the books. Of course, we bet all of our own plays. But if you do not get these plays, you are missing out. We sell a product because it's a great product. I have no problems selling a product that's good. If my product sucked, I'd shelve it and you'd never hear from me again. We deliver results. We were up 90 units 2 years ago. We are up 127 units last year, and we are on pace to smoke 200 units. The price that we give these plays out is a bargain. That's why we sell picks. This is why I'm on the show every day. It's to help you guys build your bankroll. My bankroll's fine. I'm perfectly fine. But you guys have the opportunity to join this journey and make money and treat your bankroll like a business. Marcus, that is why we sell picks.
Jesus, I want a hug. I want to jump into that computer and give you a hug, you sexy, brilliant, amazing man.
It's the truth. It's the truth. It is the God's honest truth. That is why.
Wow. Oh, I got a mic drop. Ready? I'm going to mic drop this. Right? Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. There. That was my mic drop. Andy, just to add really quickly to that, we got like 70 handicappers across both sites. We got like 10 people in customer service and production. We got like a CEO and a COO. The sports books would have to pay us a serious amount of money just to keep this business afloat. Oh, my lordy lord. What do you got to promote, brother?
365 days, 30 days, and 7 days. They're all 30% off. Again, I'm not selling picks. I'm selling a business. If you want your bankroll to be passive income and you want it to be a business like you should, then take advantage of these specials. WT.buzz/AL. I don't even have a pick for sale today. You know why? Because we don't need to force anything. We're up 88 units. The bankroll's humming along. We got cricket plays that are live now. We got tennis plays that are live now. I have not one pick that is for sale today. You invest long-term, take advantage of those. Everything is 30% off on the long-term specials. And I know that it's a big investment. I offer this to everybody. If you're thinking about getting 365 days and you want to set up a conference call or anything to talk about it, I've done that with many, many people. Reach out to me on social media, Discord, leave a comment. I will reach out to you. I do this to all our clients. So if you're thinking about long-term and you're a little nervous about it, you got questions, please let me know. I get it's a big investment, but I promise you the results will be there.
There you go. Gio knows. Wow, he was just about to buy Prez's picks. Now he's switching to Andy. Fair enough. Andy Lang, everyone.
I didn't mean that. You can do both. It's fine.
I make money off of your sales too. I love you, Andy Lang. Get out of here.
See you guys. Good luck.
Guys, the Blue Line, the hockey show, it's up live. It's up now at WagerTalk TV. It's me and Andrew Barnaby. Andy is with us. We're doing a live NHL playoff preview show at 1 p.m. on Friday. It is a live NHL preview show. Andrew McGinnis from Puck Time will be joining us. So it'll be Andrew McGinnis, Andy Lang, myself, Matthew Barnaby, and Jeremy Roenick, Brad May, plus 2 or 3 other NHL ex-players. This should be the best NHL futures show on the planet. We're going to take apart the entire playoff, the entire first round, plus future bets. Myself, Matthew Barnaby, Andrew McGinnis, Andy Lang, Jeremy Roenick, Brad May, and a few others. 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday. We will also be taking questions, and you can ask these guys questions about their career. It doesn't even have to be betting related. Make sure to watch that. And if Art has logged in, we are going to run the show late. It's just Andy was too good. I couldn't stop him. Too good. What can I tell you? Ronald Cabang, you Capper Sports. How are you, dude?
Pretty good. I don't know how to follow up Andy's rant right there. I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah, dude. So Andy logs into WagerTalk Today right now, our Slack channel. He's like, yo, Chris, can you cut my rant? I need to put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
So the funny part about it was I already asked Chris to cut his rant and put it on Twitter. So yeah, we're all on the same page. Hard to follow that. Brother, let's talk some NBA. 2 crucial games tonight. Chicago -1 against Miami. If you're going to bet them, I obviously prefer money line. Total of 219, 219 and a half, 220. How you betting this game?
This one's a tougher one out of the two today. If you look at the Heat side, they did lose 4 of their last 6 games, and that includes a loss to the Bulls. The Bulls, they closed out pretty strong. 6 of their last 7 were wins. The one loss was against the Cavs. So I feel like the momentum is on the Bulls side. The only issue that I have with this little winning streak that they had, if you look at the teams that they faced in those wins, they had Philly, Washington, Charlotte, Toronto, Portland. So not really great teams there. So that kind of, I guess, brings down that win streak a little bit. But if you look at Giddey, he's played really well to close out the season. Pretty much like after the All-Star break, almost a triple-double threat every single game. If you look at how they did post All-Star break, they scored 121.5 points per game. It has to do with Giddey. Also has to do with the pace that they play with. On the Heat side, I feel like their defense is a little bit more trustworthy, but there are some weaknesses the Bulls can take advantage of. So if you look at the post All-Star break numbers, right, 5th in shot frequency in the paint for the Bulls, but the Heat were 25th in defending the paint, paint field goal percentage allowed. And then also the above the break 3 is another aspect of the game. 5th in frequency for the Bulls. The Heat were 22nd in defending it. So a lot of things are pointing towards the Bulls side to win this game. My issue is Miami does have that playoff coaching advantage here with Spoelstra. And also, like I said, even though they have that little winning streak towards the end of the season, those wins weren't that impressive. I mean, they had, like I said, Philly, Washington. None of those guys were in the playoffs other than obviously the Heat and the Cavs. So for me, this didn't make my premium card, but I would look towards the Bulls. And also one thing that Gianni said earlier, with the total coming down as far as it has from the open, I see it at 219, the lowest, but it has come back to 220 at some places this morning. I think the buyback is because most people think that the total has come down. Well, it was 5 points from the open, so a little bit too much. People are trying to buy back on it.
There we go, Ronald Cabang. Great information. Ron, before we take apart the Sacramento-Dallas game, really thrilled to have you as part of our team. NBA expert, really unbelievable. Tell us about the show you and Ski do. It's so fun. I'd love to join you one night if you'll allow a really high old man on your show, because I know you tape super late. And by that time, I'm a mess. But yeah, and how's your NBA season going, and what do you got for the clients?
Yeah, NBA season, another profitable NBA season, regular season. So hopefully we bring that momentum into the playoffs. The show that I do with Ski every night, or Sunday through Thursday, we do Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Pacific. We try to get ahead of the numbers, the totals. So the show is called Ahead of the Spread, so that we could take advantage of the edges that we see early on. And during the regular season, it was really great, really profitable show. We were able to capture good numbers, help viewers, get some positive CLV and all that stuff too, and understand our process, because we actually share the screen of what we handicap, what we look through, the stats, the information, the sites that we use, everything through that handicapping process we share on the show. So if you guys are interested in like learning the concept, what we do and what we look at as far as the NBA, that's a really good show to take a chance on and view. So, and we track, we recap our day it's 10 p.m. So most of our bets are done. We recap our day, whether it's the NBA or not, and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Awesome. And guys, most importantly, it's fun. And that, if you watch anything I'm involved in, fun is crucial. Ronald, Dallas, Sacramento tonight. Look, Dallas backing into this. They're lost 4 of their last 5. The only team they beat was Toronto. Sacramento coming in much harder here. They've won 4 of their last 6. But I think the most important statistic here is that Sacramento has owned this team this season. They've won all 3 games. They covered 2 of them, and they destroyed Dallas in their last matchup, 122-98. Minus 4.5 for the Kings, 214.5, give or take, for the total. Most of the time, these guys are going under 3-7 head-to-head in their last 10. How do you suggest we bet this game?
Yeah, I mean the total has shot down maybe like 10 points from the open, so I probably wouldn't touch that at all unless you like the over, like what Gianni said earlier. But I think this is a little bit of a different matchup just because if you look at the Mavs post All-Star break, they were having some injury issues. A lot of their bigs were out, and AD's healthy, Lively, Gafford. I mean that's going to be a huge advantage on the boards and the defensive side of the ball for them. They're going to slow the pace down. That's going to be some trouble for the Kings because they don't have Malik Monk. And obviously, with Fox gone and all that stuff, that the backcourt is a little bit different. Malik Monk is not being on the court is an issue. If you look at the season stats, even with Fox on the team prior to the All-Star break, the Kings are just 4-13 straight up, 5-12 ATS, just 2-7 straight up. 2-7 against the spread. When they're favored in that instance. And then after the All-Star break, this is just another thing that talks about Monk. When he's in the lineup, they average 116 points per game. When he's not in the lineup, 109. So you could tell that offensive efficiency comes down a bit. And then we just talked about how the bigs are going to impact this defense on the Mavs side a lot more. AD, when he's on the court, their defensive rating is about 110. When he's off the court, it's about 119. So that's just a huge impact that I see. Obviously, I agree with the total coming down because of that. But like I said, at 114 or whatever it is, you really lost a lot of value there. But other things to think about as far as the side goes, AD is such a great player, both offensively and defensively. He's going to open things up for the three-point shooters on this Dallas team. There's a lot of things that I could talk about as far as the stat-wise too, because Kings defense, not that great. One of the biggest things they really struggled with post All-Star break, above the break threes. They allowed opponents to shoot 40% from the above the break threes, and then also 23rd in defending in the paint. So a lot of things the Mavs can take advantage of in this one. I would look towards their side. Whether it's them, I actually think they have a chance to win this one outright.
Ronald Cabang, thanks for doing this, brother. Let's keep this show moving along. Jesse Schule joining us with some prop bets live from Thailand.
You bet.
Yeah, baby.
Man, I'm excited about the NBA playoffs, but I'm not excited about following up Andy Lang. Man, he killed it. And whatever I'm going to say isn't going to be as intelligent as that, let me tell you.
Well, listen, there's a reason, no offense to anyone else, that Andy is on the show every single day. There's a reason I asked him to do Blue Line, the new hockey show I'm doing with Matthew Barnaby. He's freaking awesome. But so are you, Jesse. I mean, you don't follow anybody, dude. Come on. Firstly, you can bench press Andy 20 times. And secondly, you kill it in sports betting, and it's why you're part of this team. So you don't need to sound as good as him. You just need to win as much as him.
And what a team it is. I got to say, I'm thoroughly impressed with the roster here at WagerTalk.
Yeah, how about adding Crackman? Hey, holy crap. Talk about going and plucking maybe the best sports betting handicapper, maybe legitimately top 3, maybe ever. And now he's on the team. So, yeah, pretty excited.
It's going to be pretty competitive, I got to say.
Well, you know what? I wish that the sports books would just pay us millions and millions of dollars and we could divide it all up. But alas, that ain't how it works. Brother, what are your bets for the show today? I'm handing you the mic.
I'll keep the picks brief because I want to focus more on the promotion. But we got play-in games, not quite playoff games. And what do we see in elimination games in particular? We see the star players usually log more minutes. That's going to influence their points totals, the rebounds totals and such. So I got 2 player props, both overs. First one for the Kings versus Mavs. And I got Anthony Davis. His rebound total sits at 11.5. I like him to go over his rebound total. His rebounding numbers, his numbers overall are down in the second half of the season, but that's directly in correlation with his minutes. His last game, he played 30 minutes against the Raptors, 23 points, 13 rebounds. If he doesn't play more than 30 minutes tonight, it's either because it's a big-time blowout or he's not healthy. He's supposed to be in the lineup. He's supposed to be healthy. They need him. It is an elimination game. I expect him to play closer to 40 minutes than 30, and that should translate into more than 11.5 rebounds. And then with the Chicago-Miami game, we're going to look at Josh Giddey. And to be honest, I was looking for a player in this particular game to go on an under, but I was looking at Giddey's number. It's sitting at 18.5, and it's easy to say that's higher than his regular season averages, but the guy's averaging 21.2 points since the All-Star break. He's full of confidence after that half-court buzzer beater that sent LeBron and the Lakers back to the locker room to cry themselves to sleep, which I love. And he's averaged 26 points per game in 3 games against Miami this year. I like Giddey to go over 18.5 points in this elimination game.
Jesse Schule, what do you have to promote?
Well, a lot of guys come on here and say they're number one with this and number one with that. And I know there's some frustration from people about that. But let's just be clear. There's a lot of different sports. There's a lot of different seasons. A lot of us have been doing this for decades. So, there's a lot of number one finishes to be had. I was just looking at my NBA playoff numbers, Prez. I've been with the company for 4 years. And during those 4 seasons, my record, all picks in the NBA playoffs, 163 and 117 for a profit of 95 units. I am number one on the site since January 1st of 2024. I'm up 87 units throughout that span. My 5% NBA plays in the playoffs last year, 8-3, 70%. That was best on site. The previous year, I wasn't best on site. The year before that, which was 2021 or 2022, but it was the postseason of the 2021 season. 6-1, 72%, number one that year as well. A lot of positive things happening in the NBA playoffs. Yeah. I love it. Really looking forward to it. And I will have a package up today with series proposition bets, series winners, series handicaps and such. And you're going to want to take advantage of that package. And you're also going to want to sign up for the rest of the season, including playoffs, which is right now, I believe, priced at $195.
There we go. Jesse Schule, everyone. And guys, let me get this out there. Yes, we got a lot of people come on. Jesse's number one since January 21st, 2024. Tokyo Brandon's number one in this. Andy's number one in that. I'm number one in profit in the last 30 days. Art DiCesare's our number one guest. He's coming up next. We get it. And why? And the reason why Jesse is number one in this and Andy is number one in that, we have the best handicapping team ever assembled, period, end of story. I mean, it's not even freaking close. And I understand that it is hard. Who do you buy for 30 days? Jesse is so good. Andy is so good. Gianni, you hear every day. Me, Teddy, Steve Merrill, Ronald Cabang. How do you pick? I understand. It's a great problem for WagerTalk to have. So many incredibly talented handicappers. How you pick your handicapper needs to be based on how many plays they put out, what type of plays. I mean, a lot of people don't want to bet, prop bets. If you don't want to bet prop bets, Andy ain't your man. If you don't want to bet cricket, NASCAR, Formula One, golf, and tennis, Andy ain't your man. If you want to bet steam plays where all the money is coming, Gianni is your man. They also write analysis, and you find out which guy that you're in tune with, et cetera, et cetera. But the bottom line is, we literally, me, Johnny, Rick, Alec, Marco, all the owners of the company, We get emailed every single day from people wanting to come on this website, and we say no to 99.9%. So I just wanted to get that out there. I do want to make mention of Carmine Bianco because Carmine is in the middle of one of those, bad timing situations. This happens to me all the time. I go traveling, and when I go traveling, for some reason, I am handicapping at my best. Carmine is in Italy right now with his beautiful wife, and he is on an 11-1 NHL run. He is not on puck time, so he can't promote his 11-1 NHL run. So I'm going to do it for him. Carmine is a NHL betting machine, and he had a really rough go this NHL season. The last month has been exceptional. He's on an 11-1 run for his clients, and he would be in must-bet mode from my perspective. Also, shout out to you, Carm. Lots of love. Art DiCesare joining us. Art, I have missed you, my brother.
Here with you, my friend. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's both of us, right? Like you've taken a couple of Wednesdays off here and there, and well, I've taken a couple of many days off here and there. Well, also, we're look at this, Art. We're sharing a hair situation. We're both all long now. We got the back showing up. The only problem is yours is not gray, and mine is. It'll happen, though. I promise you it'll happen.
Prez, I'm a much younger man than you. I mean, come on.
Much? Is it much? Is it much?
20 years at least.
You're 36? No chance. No freaking chance.
A couple years older.
Okay, so it's not. I'm 56 on May 22nd, everyone. Art, listen. I got to ask you this live on air. I'm going to put you on the spot. We are hosting an NHL show 1 p.m. Friday. Me, Matthew Barnaby, Jeremy Roenick, Brad May, Andrew McGinnis, Andy Lang. It's live to the audience. I need a bookmaker to come on the show to tell us where the bets are coming in for the first round of the NHL playoffs and for the futures. I know I should not ask you live because you can't get out of it, but I don't want you to get out of it. Do you have anyone that you could think of that might be available for us?
Well, I mean, if it's going to be anyone, it would be me, I would think. But now you're talking, is that 1 p.m. my time?
Eastern, my time.
So 1
Eastern
p.m.
time.
Eastern, so we're talking 10 a.m. my time. Honestly, President, what are you going to need, like 10 minutes?
Whatever amount of time you can give us, bro.
Listen, I will text you when we get off the show. I think I'd be able to pop on Friday for about 10 or 15 minutes if you really needed me.
That would be incredible. We'll talk off air. Cool. We got 2 NBA games going tonight. Miami playing Orlando. No, that's not true. I totally forgot because I'm a complete moron. Chicago. I know, dude. I was anyway, Dallas, Sacramento. The craziest thing is my NBA bet tonight is on the Miami-Chicago game. So obviously I know who's playing who. Where's all the money? Oh, we just got a line move now. Chicago, some money coming in. They're taking what? It looks like 64% of the tickets are on Chicago, 66 on Sacramento. What's going on in the Westgate with these 2 games? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What do you like?
Yeah, on the Eastern game, Bulls Heat, we opened that game 1, Bulls -1, and we've gotten to Bulls -2 on that. So obviously we've seen some pretty good Bulls money come in. The totals really fluctuated. When we opened, we were at 222. We got down to 218.5. Now you've seen the bump back up to 220 this morning. So it's kind of hit its low point, and now they've bought back on the over, which is rare because they bet all these playoff games and especially all these do-or-die in-play games under. So we'll be rooting for the Heat in the game. That could flip, but obviously we have more money on Chicago. When you look at the second game, Really, the total is the big move. The total has moved 4 points to the under. We're now sitting at 214 on that when we opened at 218. Kings have been pretty steady at 4.5, 5. The main thing on that game for us is the Kings are in a lot of money line parlays. So we'll be looking to try to knock out Sacramento. If Dallas can win that game outright, it will knock a lot of the parlays out today that are connected to the other NBA game and all the baseball games.
Art DiCesare joining us. Arthur, what type of action are you guys taking on the NHL with all these sort of meaningless games going on? Is there opportunity to make money, or is it just kind of died down a bit?
It has definitely died down, especially now with all, kind of the playoff stuff over with these last 2 nights. You're really not going to see much. The one thing you've seen over these last couple of days, except for people wanting to bet, Montreal on the puck line or certain teams who need to win to get in, those type of things. You see some people looking to find totals. They could kind of play that way. Like, hey, we're going to bet the over in this game because it's going to be wide open and, the pace should just be up and down, really nothing to play for. Should be a lot of goals in the game, some backup goalies, to speak of in some spots. So you've seen a little bit of that. But obviously, not much of a rest here, Prez. Regular season's going to end tomorrow. We got a day off, and then we pop right into it on Saturday. So obviously, we got a lot of series prices up. The only thing I could speak of for the series prices so far is we've taken public money on the Oilers, minus 135 against the Kings. I don't think that's any surprise. Edmonton is a pretty public team. So that's the one series where we've seen some early public money.
So it's funny because I actually think the Kings might be the bet here. Edmonton has beat them 3 in a row series-wise, but this is not last year's Edmonton Oilers team. I would tell everyone to tread very carefully there. This is a much better Kings team than last year and an Oilers team that is not nearly as good and extremely injured. Any big future bets to win it all in the NBA and NHL?
Well, just a couple of teams we want to avoid. NBA-wise, I don't think it's any shock. Lakers. I could come on this show for the next 100 years. I'm always going to say the Lakers are a liability. So the Lakers are a liability. They are our biggest liability. Normally, they get to be our biggest liability. Cavs are a big liability as well. Obviously, the Cavs have been pretty good these last couple of years. But for them to have the season they had and have the best record in the East and start as low as 30-1 to win the title, and now sitting at like 5-6-1, we have some good liability on the Cavs. We're set up really well on basically the 2 favorites, OKC and Boston. We look really good on. So if we could get either of those teams to get through, meet in the championship game, one of them win, it'd be really good for us. When you look at the NHL, 2 worst decisions are both in the West. It's going to be Winnipeg, and it's going to be the Golden Knights. Golden Knights is no shock. Hometown team. People always bet the Knights. But Winnipeg, not that they came out of nowhere, but they had such a dynamic season. Their odds were a little bit higher early in the season, and they kept getting bets on them. So we want to avoid those 2 Western teams to win the Cup.
Art, Champions League soccer is this week. Quarterfinals still underway. I think it's the second leg. Are you taking a lot of action on Champions League? And if so, any suggestions?
I don't have suggestions for you, Prez, but Champions League is one of those obviously very under-the-radar things for us. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now with baseball and both playoffs about to start. But Champions League always gets a lot of action. We take a lot of action on the EPL all year. I don't think there's any shock on that. And all the other soccer leagues. I mean, we're one of the sports books that offer more soccer leagues than most, even lower leagues, English Championship, Portuguese soccer, Irish soccer. We try to give out as much soccer content for the bettors as we can. Soccer is a big parlay sport. They come in and they parlay soccer left and right. You see a lot of 4, 6, and 8 teamers on soccer. So, no really advice or anything where there's leaning on money on either side. But Champions League is going to be, and listen, Champions League goes early on in the day in Vegas where it's going to be on sound in the book. So if you're around, you want to come in, we always have the Champions League blaring in the sports book because it's on before all the other sports.
Art, what do you got to promote for the Westgate?
As always, guys, come down to the Westgate. Check us out. We obviously got a lot of fun stuff going on. NBA playoffs, we're dealing minus 108 on sides. We were dealing minus 109 all regular season. Now we're going minus 108 on sides in the NBA playoffs, and we'll have a lot more fun stuff going on, probably even tighten our splits too on the NHL, even though we're already pretty much the fairest price out there dealing 10-cent lines on the NHL.
There we go. What a show. Art, thank you for doing this, man. And guys, Art is confirmed to be back every Wednesday throughout the playoffs. I might miss one or two here or there, but we have got Art back in regular rotation. Guys, I can't thank you enough for watching the show, for hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel. Make sure to comment. Please check out the Blue Line today. Me and Matthew Barnaby took apart every NHL game on the board. That's up at WagerTalk TV. Also, I'm the #1 in profit the last 30 days over at WagerTalk. I'm up over 60 units for my clients in just 30 days. I'm killing it in the NHL. I'm on a 10-2 NBA run. I'm on a 6-0 and 10-1 MLB run. If you guys use the promo code BASKET25, that's BASKET25, you can get my plays for 25% off. And that is an all-access package or a daily package. Plus, you can use it for any other handicapper as well, and flex picks too. I'm Lawrence Presman. I'm excited. I will not be back tomorrow. I'm playing the main event in the WSOP, but I will be back on Friday. Make sure to remember 1 p.m. Eastern Time Friday, we got our NHL playoff preview show. Lots of love, everyone, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Andy will be hosting tomorrow.